Wilson Morales from Black Film TV. Hey, Yara, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. On film, the last things you've been doing are animation films where we're hearing your voice. But now we're doing the opposite where we get to see you.
Yeah.
That's,
I
so what,
figured people had enough of me talking. I'm doing silent movies now.
when you got approached for the role, what was your first thinking? Had you ever dressed as Tinkerbell growing up?
It's funny you say that because somewhere in some long lost archive is a photo of me for a Disney shoot dressed up as Tinkerbell on a wire. Because some of my first jobs growing up were print ads for Disney where I dress up as the different characters.
Mhm. So now you get this role, and is it the same what people remember, or are we getting something different?
I think it's a bit of both. I think there are so many elements of the original fairy tale and the original animated classic that we loved and really wanted to keep. We like how expressive she is. We like even how feisty she is. But I think on the flip side, you also get to see her have a very different relationship with the other girls in the movie. Whereas before, Tinkerbell was a little bit of a menace towards other girls. And so I think you end up seeing a different side of her through that. And I think she also gets credit for the fact that she's the pixie dust running this machine, which is also very different.
When you take on a role like this and knowing what you're doing in here, what's more important, how your facial expressions look, or does the costume fit?
Ooh, well, the way we filmed this with motion capture, I was in the costume for only a handful of the days, but otherwise, I was in just like a top and regular kind of track bottoms because it was all about my face. And so I'd have to say my face because at the end of the day, I had to consider how it would look when attached to the body because I wasn't really able, when we were doing the facial capture performance, I wasn't able to move my arms too much. And so I had to already kind of thought through, well, would my face be doing if my body's doing this, if my body's doing this, if my body's flying. And so I used every muscle in my face. Every
Why do
muscle.
you think? I was gonna say, why do you think Peter Pan has been such a legendary figure for almost, half a century?
I think the story's resonant. I think about the stories that last for forever, whether that be, and this ranges from Peter Pan to Anansi the Spider to Jack and the Beanstalk, but I think Peter Pan in particular, this theme of struggling with growing up is something that generationally is unavoidable. And then I think it's still such a fun world. So to be able to have such a heavy conversation and at times nerve-wracking conversation in a world covered in magic, I think is one of the most approachable ways in, no matter who you are. And so that kind of central element and theme is very present in this film, and I think brought even more forward through these characters.
With Grown set to end soon, what are you thinking about? What sort of projects you want to do? What's the next phase?
Yeah, well, I think it's been beautiful to be able to see Zoe through for 9 years. So I'm excited to land my character in a place that we'll all be really happy about. But in terms of what's next, it's been cool to step into, of course, Tinkerbell, because that was so different. But then, having recently filmed a movie that was more in the kind of like the dramedy space. I think the biggest thing about being 23 is hopping onto as many sets as possible just to see what I like. I've been in the Ish universe world, the Ish multiverse for a while that I'm looking forward to even discovering my own sensibilities outside of Ish.
And then when you work with a guy like David Lowery, and having worked on, Growing for so many years, different directors, different writers, what are you getting from David, skill set wise as an actress, from his direction that you can take on possibly to your next project, whatever it may be?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I loved. We were talking actually recently with last night with one of the producers, gushing about David. He wasn't even there, but one of the things that I think was really resonant was that on a television show, like you said, we had some incredible directors come in and continue to come in, but ultimately you're very much in charge of your character because you are the continuity between from episode to episode. It's between you and the writers to be like, well, this is where Zoe was at, so this is how I'd kind of play this, and directors will come in and collaborate and bring their vision to the episode, but the kind of arc of it you have to figure out. Whereas stepping into a movie, you really have to rely on someone like David to have this master vision, especially for a character like mine, where I wasn't on these crazy 3-story sets. And so I had to really trust him to say, when he says, this is what the world looks like, or this is what Tinkerbell would be doing, then I have to trust that this is what Tinkerbell would be doing. But he's able to maintain such a sense of vision while being so collaborative. And I think what I liked that I haven't done before in roles is think about body language, which was just a given of this character, but it made me think about really every character. The fact that sometimes we may get the emotions, but how fun it is to get really granular about how it manifests through body language, because I loved that about playing this character.
Job well done. It's good seeing you. It's good talking to you. Obviously, I'll be talking to you down the road on other projects until the end of
Yes.
time.
I'll see
Take
you
care.
soon. Bye.
Bye.